Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Evans, and I will be your instructor for the it221 class. For the next 10 weeks, we are going to learn about Cisco. Now, Cisco is a proprietary software and routers and all of that sort of thing that we use to build and maintain and operate networks. You may already have had some exposure to Cisco. Perhaps you've heard the terms or the name of Cisco. Maybe you've seen it at work or whatever. So the next 10 weeks, that's what we're going to be working on is learning to build networks, learning how to use Cisco, configure it and install it and all those sort of things. So hope that you're going to really enjoy the class and get a lot out of it. Be one step closer to your IT degree, becoming an IT professional. Now, a few housekeeping things for the class. We'll be together for the next 10 weeks. And each week will consist of a series of things that you need to do. First of all, you'll be looking at the announcements. There are announcements that will come out on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as a standard. And if there's anything special, we'll be sending out email or other announcements for you to see. So make sure you're checking out the announcements. Discussion posts are happening each week. In a discussion post, we put out a subject or a little discussion topic, and you have to respond to that. Typically that comes out on a Sunday, and you have till Wednesday to put in your first comments. And then once you've commented, others have commented, I've commented, and that kind of thing, you post a second response, say between Wednesday and Saturday, and we basically create an online discussion, if you will. Keep in mind that to get a full grade on discussions, you have to post at least twice, and it should be substantial. Discussion posts cannot be turned in late. So if you're running into some work issues, family issues, things like that, at least get your discussion posts turned in on time. The other things, we have a late policy that you can go by that gives you some leeway. So keep in mind that discussions cannot be turned in late. The next thing to know about is the modules. In week 1 through 10, there's a series of things that you need to do within the modules, the discussion posts being one of them. But there will be readings and videos and assignments and practice things to do, most of them all for grades in those various weeks. Now, if you're running behind, there is the ANU late policy. We'll be following that ANU late policy so that some of those can be turned in a little late if you run into problems. So discussion posts and the modules is where a lot of your grades are coming in. We'll also have a Zoom sessions. Our Zoom sessions are 2 hour long on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, and those are for every other week. So we'll have one on week 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And those are also critical because there's a limited amount of time that the school allows you to miss or not be in those Zoom sessions. So you want to manage those well and not get into trouble with the Zoom, with the time on the Zoom, if you will. So you'll also receive 100 points from me if you attend the Zoom, which can help with your grade. You obviously have midterm exams, final exams, things like that. We also have a proctored exam that we will do in week 7. And maybe you've seen the proctored exam in one of your other classes. Certainly we have it here, where you have to come online with me with a photo ID, and then I explain to you how to do the brief proctored exam. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of opportunities to learn and hone your skills in Cisco. Just as another housekeeping notes, from a grade standpoint, each week I keep the grades updated. If you're running behind, you'll see that that particular assignment might have a 0. That does not mean that you've got a 0 and you can't do the work. It means you, at that point, you have a 0. We've had classes where instructors have waited several weeks to put in grades. A student might think that they have a B or an A or something like that, and then the grades get updated, and the grade dropped from an A or a B down to an F because things haven't been turned in, and everybody's upset because of the big change. So what you're going to see every Sunday morning, I will go in and update the grades, and anything that's not there, you know, will be given a 0 so that you know that has not been done or has not been turned in, or that at least we have a problem we need to discuss. So it doesn't mean you're stuck with a 0, but it should be a red flag to you that there's something that you didn't get done or getting turned in, okay? And we'll talk more about that in some of our Zoom sessions. Just trying to think of other things to tell you in the initial announcements and stuff. I know that for the most part, our classes are not all that hard to learn and not all that hard to get through. Most students that participate in my classes fail because they just don't come to class or they just don't do the work. And there's not a lot I can do to help you if you just don't do the work. So managing your time and getting the work turned in is probably 80-90% of the battle from where I'm sitting anyway. So anyway, that's our first announcement, an introduction, and a hello from me. If you've got any kind of questions or concerns, please let me know. I'll see you in class.